Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Sinisola Adikun. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said going forward, computer-generated slips issued to a voter or even downloaded from its website will suffice for voter accreditation. According to the electoral umpire, this will not only save costs but also eliminate the issues around the collection of permanent voters' cards, PVCs, and what it describes as the diabolical practice of buying up the cards from voters in order to disenfranchise them. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu, who said this at a meeting with resident electoral commissioners in Abuja, however, said those who already have PVCs can still use them to vote. Yakubu said from the internal and external engagements, the commission has identified 142 recommendations dealing with the general state of preparedness, voter management, voter education and public communication, political parties and candidates management, as well as electoral operations and logistics management. He said other areas include election officials and personnel, partnership and collaboration, monitoring and supervision, election technology, voting and results management, election security, electoral offences, and the electoral legal framework. Well, let's unpack all of this. I'm now being joined by an election observer and executive director, Center for Social and Economic Rights, Nelson Ekujimi. Thank you for coming on the program. Let's start by getting your thoughts on INEC replacing, or INEC's plan now replacing PVCs with computer-generated slips for accreditation in future polls beginning from 2027. As an election observer, is this a good proposal by the electoral body in terms of reducing costs of conducting elections and ease of the elections, conducting the elections itself?
I think this new proposal of computer-generated slip by INEC will go a long way in reducing the stress of PVC's collection, because it means that your PVC will be the computer-generated slip on election day. But I have this reservation, and that reservation is that how do we determine, or how do we know those who have PVCs or not? Will it be that it will be announced that if you know you don't have a PVC, don't come to the polling station, or you should just come without your PVC and the computer-generated slip will be used as accreditation? Won't we be opening the window for people who don't have PVC to come to the election polling stations on election day to cause, mayhem, for them to come and claim, oh, I have PVC, but I didn't bring it since we are going to use computer-generated slip. These are some of the reservations I have with regards to this new initiative. But it's a good one because, one, the cost of logistics for PVC's collection will be eliminated. The cost of providing security for PVC collection will be eliminated. The cost of putting in place mechanism for PVC collection will also be eliminated. In that way, we'll be reducing the cost of organizing elections drastically. But majorly, it is important that we also look at it to ensure that only those who have PVC are eligible to turn up for election on election day. Maybe we'll have to make use with the provisions of the electoral law, whereby voters' registration will be placed at polling units maybe 24 or 48 hours before election, so that if your name is not there, there's no reason for you to come on election day, or if you don't have a PVC, because it is not unlikely that some persons may come into town in the wee hours of the day before election, and that person will not have been opportune to see what has been pasted there maybe 24 or 48 hours. But majorly, how do we ensure that those who have PVC or those who are captured on the electoral register turn up for these elections? It is important, but with regards to cost, I think it is a good step in the right direction.
And we already know how issues like this can turn out, especially in terms of on the side of the opposition, is there a possibility that this could lead to some sort of controversy? For instance, political parties and voters, as well as some politicians who might complain that people are approaching polling units with fake cards.
Well, you and I know for free that we have been using the permanent voters card called PVC now in about series of elections going backwards. And we have not had reports as we speak of persons coming with a fake PVC, because the PVC that a voter holds is configured. The details is configured into a beavers machine now, which was formerly the card reader. So it is not unlikely that with this slip, with the attempt to do away with the PVC, that political parties might want to latch on to this and want to come and cause mayhem on election day. So we need to get our hearts very clear by making a clear demarcation on what you need to bring to the polling station. That look, your PVC is your passport into the arena, but your PVC will not be the document for accreditation. Rather, it will be a computer-generated slip. I think in that way, it will go a long way to minimize whatever BM or whatever disturbance that political parties might want to create at polling stations, because it is not unlikely that they will be studying the new initiative and trying to figure out where they can profit, individually or as a party. But it is important for us as Nigerians to put our heads together with the electoral umpire to ensure that those lacuna that could be provided for political parties to take advantage of and taint the credibility of our election, is not allowed to happen. So we must be very, very clear about the PVC and the computer generated. People must be made aware that it is only those who have the PVC that this computer generated slip will be provided for. That if you don't have a PVC, or if you are carrying a fake PVC, don't make the mistake of coming to the polling station on election day, or else you'll be arrested for attempts to breach the laws of the land.
Or you would agree with me that voter apathy is a major challenge during elections. I mean, it's safe to conclude that Nigerians have lost interest in casting votes for, several reasons. In your opinion, how will this, do you think that this computer-generated slips will improve voter turnout during elections?
Well, I think the issue of voters' apathy is something that we cannot finish discussing in one engagement like this. It's an ongoing discussion that has disturbed the minds of even those of us who are on the other side, who are keeping watch over the electoral system. But it's important for us to realize that our voters' turnout can only be upped if we continue to engage and sensitize our people on the reasons why they vote. People refusing to come out to vote on election day, it's not because they don't have trust in the electoral system alone. It's because a lot of them are ignorant. They continue to run with false narratives, false assumptions about the electoral system that they know nothing about, that they have not even invested their time to understudy. The voters must be educated to recognize that the reason why he's voting is about 4 years of his life. How does he want 4 years of his life to be? Or does he want a situation whereby people should go and decide how 4 years of his life will be? I think those are questions and many more that we should throw to the voter. I don't think it is enough to say that why we have voters poor turnout is because of loss of confidence. Absolutely not. That is an issue that we can, do a research on to really determine, because I've had people say that why I don't come out to vote is that I registered and I was unable to collect my PVC. I've been at civil society engagements with stakeholders where people have said where the polling station is located is too far from my house. My health condition will not allow me to move on election day because there's no movement of vehicles. So these are many more reasons why we have voters, poor voters turnout. But majorly, we need to research into it and do the needful. Is it that people don't have PVC? Is it that people are staying away because they don't have confidence in the system? And if they don't have confidence in the system, how do we educate and sensitize them that, look, those of us who have confidence in the system is because we understand that the system is transparent and accountable. But if you still feel the system is like it used to be in the past, sorry, the train has left the station.
Well, time will tell how practical these recommendations by INEC are ahead of the 2027 elections. Mr. Nelson Ekujimi, election observer and executive director, Center for Social and Economic Rights, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Let's take a break here. The program will continue shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Let's continue the conversation on INEC's planned move now to replace PVCs with computer-generated slips for future elections in the country. I'm now joined by a political affairs analyst, Sonny Maduka. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Now, what are your thoughts on INEC's proposal to replace PVCs with computer-generated slips for accreditation in future elections? And let me ask you, will this also tackle the issue of diaspora voting, making it easier for Nigerians abroad to participate in elections?
Okay. Thank you for that question, and good evening, viewers. I think the problem we have in this country is not about policy making. We've had a lot of pronouncements, we've had a lot of policies right from 1999. It has been from one evolution to another. And it happened that 2023 was the peak of what Nigerians expected, because the INEC chairman came out to tell us, look, we should hold him responsible if we didn't go through the policy setup that he globally declared. And we all saw what happened. And that is my problem. It is not about the policy pronouncements. It's about the policy implementations. Nigerians are good at postulating ideas, postulating concepts and theories. But when it comes to human interface, that is where the problem is. For instance, there's nothing wrong with BVAS, there's nothing wrong with IRF, there's nothing wrong with what we used in 2023 elections. What was wrong? Human interface. Human interface was the problem. And now you want to go through whatever you want. Now it's going to be computerized or whatever. It's going to be worse. Because if within the human interface we can fight and mutilate ideas, mutilate figures, how do you think that the software that is going to be produced by some individual that INEC is going to probably contract will not even do worse? I see the Nigeria, we are a little bit skeptical of whatever this man is saying, the INEC chairman, because he has never given us that idea to believe in him. Whatever idea is not about just the coming up with new innovation, which is okay because human being is dynamic, and because of the dynamism of human beings, so we are supposed to be thinking and innovating and advancing. And the proposal, yes, could be good on paper, but definitely not in this, the same person operating it, the same person that couldn't manage what he declared for us as being the best practice for 2023, messed us up by declaring election by 3 a.m. I've never seen anywhere it's done in this world. And up to today, the same INEC chairman has not come out to tell Nigerians why he declared the election by 3 a.m. I think Nigerians need to know. So it's not just about trying to pancake ideas, policies. No. The fundamental is that Nigerians are hot. We are hot because in 2023, that every Nigerian had hope. We messed it up, and INEC messed it up. And today, up to today, the hot is still there. So there's nothing big deal. If only we can do this without much human interface, I think is a welcome idea. I've always advocated that we should go into technology. I think technology could do that. You don't even need to go to polling booth to vote. You can be at the comfort of your room to vote. And this issue about bringing in a new idea is just lacuna. It's going to be, at the end of it, going to end in nothingness. See, we have our phone numbers. Most Nigerians are registered carriers, and it's from 18 years and above. There's nothing wrong. All the service providers, they have our numbers. Why don't you use our numbers? At the day of election, you send text to everybody. You just need to browse and tick. If it's president, you tick whoever you want. You go back to the governor, you tick whoever you want. If it's the National Assembly person, you tick. And you tick at a glance. Within a minute, our election could be over. And it will be on real-time basis. So as you're voting, your voting is hitting the central collecting center. That is the only way. If we are bringing in any type of idea that is going to have certain human element, I'm telling you, it will be worse than what we experienced in 2023.
Our INEC report offered quite a lot of recommendations, one of which is the need for legal clarity in result management, particularly regarding manual transfer versus electronic transmission of results. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu emphasized that this is crucial for the integrity of the electoral process in the country, undoubtedly, of course. What are your thoughts on this?
You know, when we talk about integrity, I use one word to describe most of Nigerians, especially those people who are at the helm of affairs and those people who Nigerians are looking up for credibility. When you talk about integrity, I don't think the INEC chairman could come up to say integrity-wise that Nigerians could, vouch for him. There's none. And for the fact, like I said earlier, which is my very concern, is for the fact that Nigerians are not sure of what INEC chairman has in mind or have in mind, it's going to be very difficult for us to trust him in whatever he's going to say. You know, restitution is when you A, you can come up to the A and tell Nigeria, oh look, I messed up last time. This time around, I'm serious, I'm going to do it right. But we've not seen any remorse. We've not seen anything that is a little bit on opposite on what INEC chairman did in 2023. So it's going to be hard for any Nigerian to believe whatever he's going to say. Like I said, Nigeria is not bereft of ideas, policies. The problem is just that human interface. If you look at it, like I said before, if an average Nigerian is being looked on based on his tribe, religion, which is the problem we have today, then it's going to be very difficult for somebody who is in Lagos State, maybe from Igbo or Calabar, to be very confident in going to any polling booth in Lagos to vote. So whatever the issue is, I'm just asking that if we could evolve a system whereby we are going to have less of human interactions, I will support the INEC chairman. Where immediately you vote, your vote is counted. I will support him. Where you will not be disenfranchised because of your tribe or your religion, I will support you. Where you can vote without interference, I will support you. And of course, where results are going to be transparent and people are going to see it as credible, I will support you. But as of today, I've not seen any example of whatever that 2027 is going to bring. Because from few elections that we've had a lot of imperfections. You see election malpractice being, done as we had in 2023, where result sheets are mutilated and all this. So I don't know. I think we will leave this issue about postulating ideas or policies. Let us see how we can do it practically. And I'm sorry to say this, an average Nigerian leader has this idea, when you want to make money, he creates an idea. And when he creates an idea, the money comes, and when is the time to implement, that person fizzled out. Because when you're talking about evolving a new system in our electoral process, it means that we're going to spend another gigantic money, a lot of money, because to get those processes working, the software and every other thing, of course, we're going to get a lot of huge expense on that. That means that all the ones we spend on beavers and IRF, all the billions that we spend are off to the drains. That's why I'm not happy about Nigerians and especially our leaders. They are not proactive. They're not looking futuristic. They are only doing things on the spur of the moment. We don't think beyond our nose, beyond every day, today. There's always this idea about shortcut. Let's just do it today. But let us sit down and plan our electoral process. How do we want to do it? So that in the next 20, 30 years, it could still stand the test of time. For instance, like I said, if we can sit down and map out a situation or a scenario where there's not going to be anything about human interface, just like you saw in the US, people will vote and our vote will count. And I'm telling you, people will give confidence, credibility to whatever postulation is coming out with. But for now, I'm telling you, a few of us are still going to be a little bit skeptical because we've not seen any change even after 2023 mess up elections. So it's not about the talk, it's about the doing. Let Nigerians see what you're doing and let your attitude and character exhibit what you speak or what you preach. It's one thing preaching, is another thing, being what you preached. And that is the problem we have in this country. We have good, laudable ideas, good, laudable visions and policies, but the credibility of those who want to implement those ideas is our problem. And it's a test that Nigerians are really not happy about, for now.
And the Commission also intends to review the mechanisms for a more effective implementation of agreements on logistics with the transport unions and other services. What measures would you recommend for the Commission in this regard?
Have they had any problem with the logistics before? Have they told us? They've not. It has always been this makeshift idea, hurry, the same, what do I call it? Everybody is doing things at the moment that thing comes up. You don't plan a program of 3 years on the same week that you're going to implement what you've planned. You plan ahead. I expected by next year, INEC, if they are truthful, should be able to be planning how 2027 election should be. They should be able to galvanize all their logistics, everything, put everything in place, ensure that there's agreement, written agreement between INEC and the logistic companies. and so that no one will renege on that agreement. It's not on the day of election you now start running around looking for danfo that will carry electoral materials to a place, or you're going to Riveren area on the day of election, you're looking for canoe that will carry or ferry personnel and material to their destination. No, it's not done that way. So there's no problem about logistics. I think it's human beings that are causing the problem of logistics. They should have a plan. Since 1999, if they have not been able to get an idea about how they can ensure that logistics is well tailored, then there's a problem. Because I don't expect that logistics should be a problem. As of now, you asked me about legal implication. There's nothing legal. Illegal implication of INEC announcing a result by 3 a.m. What are you talking about?
Well, no doubt political parties across the nation will be gearing up to sensitize their supporters if INEC succeeds to replace PVCs with the computer-generated slips ahead of the 2027 general elections. Political affairs analyst Sonny Maduka, we really appreciate your time with us. Thank you very much, sir. That's how much we can take on this episode of the program. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.